I want to start today by thanking you all for your patience and letting me work out a couple of issues to get this video to you. I really appreciate the understanding of those of you who have been anxiously awaiting my update. And for those of you who are new here, I appreciate you coming aboard to see a little bit of the work that I've done. I hope to give you all some great ideas for building in the Commonwealth. And with that said, let's get started on this tour of the Kingsport Lighthouse. In my walkthrough here, this is the Kingsport Lighthouse Minutemen Naval Station. The Minutemen are here to protect the Commonwealth, and that means from all threats, and therefore we need to be able to patrol the coasts. As we come around the corner here, you'll see the first guard station, which currently has good old Preston standing at it for some reason. He's not the guard who's assigned to it. As a matter of fact, I don't know how he ended up. That's not Preston, is it? Oh, no,
Yes.
no. That's right. I managed to get Preston's clothes away from him. And in a, what I'm going to call a bug, probably wasn't intended by Bethesda, but I left Preston unclothed for a while down at the castle, and all of a sudden, he was dressed again. So I made an effort to repeat that experiment, and at least in this playthrough, every few days, he gets his clothes back. So I've been exploiting that to get some extra copies of those clothes. I should have realized that's a militia hat, not his Minuteman hat. As you can see here, as you come up the driveway, we are well protected with the guard station and machine gun post. There's another machine gun up on top of the piece of wrecked shipping that we pulled up here. Our artilleryman has a home inside there. He's doing a bang-up job of keeping himself entertained. He's got a little patio up there. We'll be going up there soon, but I wanted to get a look from down here. The only way up the driveway is, of course, around the edge of this container, or this trailer truck, which puts you square in line for a couple of turrets. If you try and sneak around this way, there is a turret over here that'll take you on as well, but there are guardrails and debris on the roadside here that actually prevent most of the raiders from coming up, because as you know, raiders don't jump over things, at least not frequently. Maybe one or two of them will. But as you come up here, we have a general provisioner, and he wants everybody to know that he sells armor, clothing, food, weapons, ammo. He's got a nice little store set up right here. And, of course, he needs a place to store all that stuff that he's selling, so if you come in here, you'll see that he's got armor and clothing and headgear over here. He's got some provisions and some narcotics. He's got some mods for weapons, a little bit of junk, some oil and duct tape. Here's his ammo storage, and looks like he's got a couple of pipe weapons here, a sniper rifle and a pipe pistol. And then he's got laser muskets, some more headgear, some more uniform-like clothing back here. He's doing a pretty good job keeping himself stocked up on the things that he sells. And of course he's got a trash can to get rid of things that he doesn't need. And we come up here and you see, oh yes, we still have another turret. This one it does appear to be pointing into the cinder blocks, but as you know, if a threat is detected, that gun will raise and fire on it, and for the most part, it clears the edge of the cinder blocks, although the cinder blocks do defend or deflect some shots that need to go far to the right or left. And to compensate for that, we have another turret right here. As this is a Minuteman military facility, we want to make sure that it is well protected.
Hi, how are you?
So there are more turrets here than normal. And here is our guard again. She is very attentive to her duties. As we continue to move around here, you'll see we have another artillery piece, this one focused in the more northerly direction, although their main purpose is really as coastal defense, so our southern and our northern batteries have full range of fire out into the water, except for where their fire may be blocked by the lighthouse itself, and then each of them also can fire, in this case to the north and west, without any issue, the other to the south and west without any issue, so we have good overlapping fields of fire. We have another guard station right here, again with another turret. We will be coming back up this way to pay a visit up here, but I'm going to continue on around here. As you know, there's a small path that comes down this way. This is one of the ways you can sneak up when you take on the Children of Adam who are staying here. And of course, this machine gun platform that's on the outside of this building that I've put here is going to provide coverage both down the beach and anybody trying to sneak around and up this path. If we come over here, you'll see that this building is actually put up onto this, the last hillock before the beach itself. And we'll come up in here and we've got a guard station. Fine young gentleman here guarding, keeping an eye out. Both his field of view is both down the beach, or up the beach, and out to sea, because we do not want anybody pulling up any amphibious assaults on this part of our establishment. As you see here, we have a desk for him to do reporting at, and then he can step down here at the end of his shift, and he has a place to sack out for the night, store any clothing that he picks up. He's got a nice little lamp that enough light to read by at night if he chooses, if he's not tired enough to sleep.
Oh yeah, you gotta take things one day at a time.
But this is an excellent spot to guard against both amphibious assault and assault up the beach. His station here covers everything on this side of the dock, which includes protecting our water purifier, which you can see out in the water there. So if he wants to run up the hill to get some grub, or if he wants to, he gets himself hurt and he needs to come up to see the medic, she has a clinic right here. She pulled this trailer in here and set up clinic to provide aid and assistance.
For a small fee, of course.
Oh, no thanks, Doc. That's really nice of you. But as you see here, I have some Brotherhood medical officer clothing on her. I do use the UCO mod, which actually allowed me to create that without any, it's kind of a cheat to create that, but I did not dislike that. That's one of those items that I wish was more readily available. As you see here, I'm using the Vaultec posters for indicating the importance of staying fit and taking your medications. And she does have a spot here where she can do exams and surgeries if she needs to. And of course, you know, we're displaying the x-rays of the last patient. He doesn't seem to have fared too well. It looks like he's missing a finger and quite possibly massive thoracic damage. Yeah, he was not in good shape, but his skull doesn't seem to be too badly broken, so at least he's in good health in that regard.
Should let me take a look at you.
As we come around here, you'll see that we can see straight into the store. Some trash cans. Got to keep the place neat. This is a military facility, and we do try and keep things cleaned up. As you can see, the folks who live here also do some leather tannery. They want to make sure that they do everything they can to help produce. This is a private living space for 4 people. And here are their bunks. They do use the bunks, so it is a good place for them to live. And of course they have a seating area. You know, they're doing pretty well.
You're not thinking of going for a swim, are you?
Of course not, Preston. Why would I think of going for a swim just because I came out of a bedroom? Here's one of our farmers who lives in that trailer. He's taking care of the moot fruit here.
Hope you ain't one of them.
As we come inside here, we can see that what I call the canteen is set up. He's got a computer
If you
still.
to see Grey God, you should go. Whole place
And
is
of
run
course,
by
we have a
robots.
few extra weapons here. We got a couple of duty officer beds set up so that they can get a cat nap while they're on duty. And in here is the eating and recreation area of the building. You'll notice that the galley kitchen is pretty much free for anybody to use, but most of their supplies they buy pre-prepared from our wonderful shopkeep over there, and he just takes care of things for us. If he has any valuables he needs to lock up for the night, he can put them in the safe. I have provided him with that combination, so let's move on up to the second floor, which is also housing for the naval personnel who are stationed here. This right here was supposed to be Preston's bunk, but he won't get into it, and other people have gotten into it, so I'm not too worried about that. Got a couple of more bunk beds over here. As you can see, I added a staircase because we do have a 3rd floor on this building. In here we have the latrine as it was when we evicted the children of Adam. I just added the barn wall and door so that they can actually use the bathroom with a little bit of privacy. And we have a storage area right here for goods that are brought in and used a little bit less frequently than others. And you know, apparently the guys are keeping some clean towels in here so that when they're done with their bathing. And as you can see, anybody who comes up here is getting a overwatch by the machine gun turret. Now if we come around this side here and use this staircase, we come up.
Can't remember the last time I had clean fingernails.
I appear to be in her way. This platform I could not attach to the wall for any reasonable way, and as you can see, I couldn't even build a roof out over the entire section.
Crop's been growing pretty good lately.
But we were able to suspend from the roof rafters and such. Oh, nice of you to get out of my way. Here we have a couple of extra bunks for guard personnel and a guard post that overlooks the forward approach, and also, as you know, right over there is the stairs down to the docks, and that gives you a good look down onto that, protecting that area as well. Now, because I don't want to deal with her griping, I'm just going to jump down here. As we come around here, you'll see that all the Minuteman naval personnel are wearing a variation of the Minuteman uniform with Coast Guard hats, or most of them are. And here we have where we keep track of everything important. We have a computer to do our inventory with, and communication gear that we use to communicate with the naval vessels. This is the logistics command post. It's starting to get late, so I'm going to give us a little bit of extra light time by using the mortar. If I can remember, there's where the target is. We're going to get just a little bit of extra light by clearing things up. Not a lot, because it is getting late. But as you can see, when I come back out here in the morning, you're going to get to see the Minuteman naval vessels. It is definitely too dark to take you on a tour down there. But they keep things well lit up here. Well enough lit. Our Minuteman artillery personnel are all given bowler hats. Kind of distinguishes them as artillery personnel. We're going to give you one tour of his private quarters. Like I said, he convinced a bunch of guys to pitch in and help him, and he moved this boathouse from one of the wrecked boats down in the bay up the hill here. And I gave him permission to do so, but only if it wasn't going to interfere with his duties. So he managed to make a nice little place for himself. He's got a bed set up, a nicer area to sit up out of the sand, gives him a nice place to relax at night. And as we all know, in game the guards won't actually leave their post, but for role-playing purposes, he comes up here to his deck. Obviously, him and some friends have been up here having a few beers over the various nights. He didn't have a real use for this location. However, this would be an excellent spot if a guard needed to take a shot down the road or to keep an eye down to the beach. And of course, up above this, we have a turret on the roof, which also gives excellent protection to that front gate area. Now we're going to go inside and have ourselves a nap. Normally, when the artillery piece is not turned out to sea, you can walk through that spot, but technically you're not supposed to. I want to show this on my way past. Put a regular post here in the ground and another post up here on the top to hold up the structure up above.
Worshipping radiation.
And took advantage of that to put this handrail up as just a wire handrail, you know, a little cable. But since we're up here and it looks like it is 9 p.m., so most of the people should be off duty now, we can
Worshipping radiation. That's straight up crazy.
take a trip down here and you'll see that people are coming in from their duties.
Sounds not much, but it's something.
You know, that's very good. I'm glad that you're proud of the work that you do here. As you can see, people are starting to show up. It looks like somebody's putting in their daily reports. That's good. Very good. And if we come over here, you know, they have a spot to sit and have a meal, or they might want to write out their reports. Some of you might be wondering about the floor in here and why I have a raised barn floor. Well, you may or may not be familiar with the drawbacks of working here. In workshop mode, the actual floor in this part of the house doesn't seem to exist. You cannot put anything down on it. It is highly resistant to just about anything. You can't even put a, well, I didn't try to put a rug down, but I'm going to gather because a chair or ashtray just goes right through the floor, I'm going to wager that a rug would also do so.
I prefer to stick to dry land.
So what I had to do is I put a floor piece leading into the place and then built off of the floor. So I put one of the quarter pieces right here, and then I was able to attach the full piece and then a half piece of barn flooring, which brought it straight out to the edge of the room without the bump out. And of course the chair was able to sit on it as if the whole floor was made up of that. But that enabled me to put the bench seats and the cabinet in here, so we had a place to put our liquor. And yeah, it's not a perfect solution, but it worked for my business. And as I've said repeatedly in my videos, I believe that these guys need to be given the opportunity to act in a way that actually works with the this is the apocalypse type thing. Now, as you see, this is kind of unique for my experience around
Got work to do. Can't talk now.
Fallout 4. For some reason, it's after the work hours. I mean, we can look at the time, it's almost 10 p.m. For some reason, they're not all in off-duty mode. So I don't know exactly what they're doing, but normally you would expect them to be hanging out in here. Let's take a nap, and I think 10 hours would be more than enough time to have nice bright sunshine when we wake up. Yeah, I'm not sure why at this location specifically I see that a lot. They don't tend to do the self-recreation thing very often. I'm much more likely to see one or two of them using
Worshipping radiation.
the booths
That's straight up crazy.
during the day.
Maybe you can help. Our generator's busted and we don't have the parts we need to fix it. What do you need? We're just missing a few key parts to get our old generator running again.
Did you just pull a gun on me? Okay, power for the Kingsport Lighthouse. Virgil has instructed me to travel to the old CIT ruins so I can... That's Hunter Hunted. Build or repair a generator. The people of Kingsport Lighthouse need to help Okay, she obviously doesn't know that there's a generator here because I haven't taken you guys down to it, but apparently I'll get that straightened out. Okay, as you can see now that it is bright and sunny, we're going to take a walk down to the docks. I'm very surprised to see an artillery person
what I
away
call a
from
good
her
day?
artillery piece.
One that ends without an empty stomach.
By the way, her artillery piece is down here at the docks. So let's come on down here. I want to, before I get too far out, I did build that defensive wall right there to protect our slipway. You can't come up the beach anymore and come into our naval yard from that direction. Logistically, it's harder to guard that side. There's not a convenient spot for a guard post. So I use that wall to block it off. As you can see, we've put up a few fishing cleaning stations here. We have a chemistry station that we can work at right here. And if you come into the dock house, we have our tools and tool bench and a work. That's the weapons workbench. Yes. More storage everywhere. We're bringing in shipments daily. See, I do have a generator running right here at the lighthouse, and of course the settler's going to stand in the way, because naturally that's going to happen while I'm doing a tour. So let me walk around this way. It's a little bit tighter of a walk for me, but gives me the opportunity to walk past the water purifier on a little bit closer. Give you a look. We're pumping lots of water into the community here, and of course we are now passing by more of the offloaded supplies. And as you come down here, you'll see more supplies stacked up, and this is the crane that used to be on the fishing boat that is located here at dockside. What did we replace that with? Oh yes, we armed the boats with artillery. These boats are more than sufficient for doing patrols of the Commonwealth waterways. It looks like they're getting some fish either loaded or offloaded here. And as you can see here, the command station, we use red lights because it protects night vision pretty well. That's Preston, who's wandering around on the bow of the ship. This ship has its secondary power generator right out here. So again, we have plenty of power being generated here. And this is where the community settler beacon is located. I put it up here because it looked like a great spot for it. Kind of communication gear a seagoing vessel might have. Still activated because I do want to get a few more people into this community. I jump over to this second boat, and you'll see here, this boat is available in the USO section on vehicles. Again, this is a fishing boat. Normally the rear area here is only got this engine housing. So I added an artillery piece. I put these steps so that it was easier to get in and out for the dock. I have actually seen settlers using the step into the boat, so I know that it does work. This was powered.
You're not thinking of going for a swim, are you?
I'm wondering why it is now not showing that it's powered. If we come around here, you can see that this is actually, it looks like it's being used to hold the boat to the dock, but it's actually also the power cable. And this whole dock, this second slip here, this is all built by me. looks like I forgot a concrete pillar
I've seen
under the
maps
water.
that show other
I don't
countries
remember
across
putting
the
that there, but I could have.
ocean. Wonder if there are any better ways to do it.
USO does allow you to put these boats in place, and I did use a pillar to move it because it had to be placed up on the beach and then moved. But as we move our way around here, you're going to see that this one right here leads away under the dock. And if we come around here, aside from more stuff stored underneath the dock here, this is the kind of stuff that we tried to do pretty good storing, but the tides came up, you know? Oh, and this is damaged. That's the main power generator for the facility. The smaller generators just don't do the job. And that would be why she wanted my help in fixing the power. That's excellent. Okay, so now we can see that, yes, the lights are on in the second boat. Oh, and there she is now. So here we have Settler to report.
You should have all the power you need now.
That's great. We really appreciate the help.
I prefer to stick to driving.
So anyway, that second half of the dock there was added solely for the... I want to know how somebody got all the way here and damaged that without getting killed by our guards. But who knows? Plot twist, obviously. Maybe they were attacked while I was away. Over here, clearly a rowboat from one of the bigger boats bringing supplies, or in this case we may actually be loading up to send someone out to their boat. Because, you know, when the bigger boats come in, we want to get them resupplied and back out as fast as possible. So here we have the staircase that was original to the facility, and it's very inconvenient to have to run all the way to that side just to come up. So I was able to add a second staircase off our second dock over here. You come on up here, and sensibly it comes up the opposite side. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to go take a nap, and hopefully that will cause our personnel to return to their normal locations. It'll be a short nap. I'll use the artilleryman's bed here. I am so glad that I feel well rested. Let's come over here. No, she's still standing there. I may have to leave the area or sleep overnight or whatever. But oh, it looks like somebody's... he must be one of the scavengers. He's walking around with a gun out. But as you can see, the wall is very basic. It goes out to that pillar, and it does have a machine gun that is capable of attacking on the beach, but it is much more likely to defend against something from the water. As we make our way around this side of the beach, there's not a lot that we have added over here, because there was a little bit of a discrepancy. It's not a very safe step up, but it is a step up that still works. If we come down this side, it's a little bit more normal. What this ended up being, I think y'all understand that this is the corner piece with no walls on it, and the machine gun itself had to be put in place, and then this I simply pillar glitched in around the machine gun. I would have loved to have been able to do the same thing with one of the bump out side pieces, the deep wall balcony, shack balcony. That's what it's called, shack balcony. Unfortunately, for some reason, I was unable to sink a shack back balcony in that specific location, and I did want the gun basically in line with the guard post. But I still think that it looks like it was a pretty good attempt to give that gun a little bit of rain cover. Our salesman seems to be keeping himself mildly entertained. As we come up to the building, if we were to be coming up this way, that's right, it is the Commonwealth Navy. That's what we have put together here for you. It's the Commonwealth Naval Facility. Obviously, they are self-sufficient as far as farm goods. Our artillery is well maintained. Our clinic is available in the event of an emergency. And of course, the lighthouse itself. Now, I forgot to take a gander up at the lighthouse while it was nighttime, so perhaps I should go sleep until nighttime and give you the full view of the lighthouse at night. And oh, by the way, as you see, the guard does come up to the top here. So let's oh, that's definitely going to be dark after 8:30, if I'm not mistaken. As the old man used to say to me, dark enough. I don't like rain. Oh, by the way, I moved that weather firework with me to everywhere I go. As you can see, there's still a glow from the lighthouse. Let me see if I can get it a little darker. There's no reason not to get full nighttime effect here. So, that glow actually inspired me, and I was kind of upset when, in the end, we lose the glow from the lighthouse because the glowing one at the top gets killed, and that sucks. But you know, we have extra bedding on each of the landings here. When I put them in, I did assign them to guards, because I know that guards won't leave their guard posts, so That was the idea. However, I don't think they are all assigned to guards now because I'm lazy and I don't check these things. As you come up to the top of the lighthouse, as frequently happens, I don't think this is a universal bug, but it happens a lot to me. That little thing flops down, you can't get past it. Well, you can jump past it. And as you can see, I just put these two lights in here. And no, this centerpiece no longer glows. As a matter of fact, it looks nasty. But obviously it is bright and shiny up here with those two lights. And from below, let's see here, you gotta play games to get out. In case you didn't notice, there is a power conduit that is on the underside of the catwalk outside and goes up to the top of the lighthouse and also all the way down the inside wall of the lighthouse to make sure that we have any power that we need if there's anything that I can do. See, there's a person who... Well, that person's not even in a Minuteman uniform, so they're a new arrival. They're a recruit. They'll get a job here soon. And what we seem to have going on right now is it's late, so everybody should be in bed. One of the farmers is already to bed. Nobody's sleeping in the duty officer bunks. Nobody's...
Trust you. And I don't say that lightly.
That's nice, Preston.
Another day of hard work. Never changes.
We got, as you can see, one person sleeping in a top bunk right now. That's the actual purpose of those bunks is, there is a bunk bed available. One of the farmers has moved herself up here. Maybe she doesn't like the guy who's sleeping in a trailer. I think that Preston is still keeping himself
I've got your back
from
no matter what.
laying in that bed because of the way I tucked it under the stairs. It's crying shame because he's going to get real tired real fast that way.
Need
Doc,
to get back to Diamond City one of these days. Biggest town I ever saw.
Don't
you
much
two
care for good
enjoying
neighbor.
some time together here,
Nothing
Doc?
to
Something I don't know
try.
about? Well, I want to thank you for coming with me on this tour of the Kingsport Lighthouse Naval Station. Just to finish the thought that I was working on a few seconds ago, there's another new recruit. And one of the scavengers. It looks like a whole lot of people are not happy about where I've placed their bunks. Either that or it's just more of the same issue of they don't go and use the entertainment facilities. But let me use the scope here. You can see the red lights inside the cabin of both of the ships, and it definitely looks like our artillery person is still not at her post, unless that's her right there. It's hard to tell. Did she make it? She is back on duty. Very good for her. But yes, the bunk beds. USO, and I'm not sure which of the mods or DLCs enabled bunk beds as an option. They do count as 2 bunks, but no one will ever sleep in the top bunk. Once you assign it to a person, they use the bottom bunk, and you cannot assign it to another person without unassigning the first person automatically. The way I do the bunk beds with the cots that have the large head and footboard, we just pillar glitch them together. As long as you don't make the top bunk too high, they will get in and out of those bunks. So that is how I did that and why I did that. Just simple, place the first bunk down. The headboard's a little higher than the footboard, so I put the headboard down, like say, up against the wall. Then I put the second bunk over here, and I'll reverse the headboard and footboard, and then I'll pick it up with a pillar. And generally speaking, on the footboard end, if you put the top of the rail at the bottom rail of the bunk that's on top, the height is just about perfect. And then it's just a matter of getting it lined up. I know that most of us have seen this in action. However, in an upcoming video, I will be going over all of the things that I do that I have been questioned about. If you have any other questions about the methods that I use, please feel free to leave comments. I may not respond to every comment I receive, but I've received enough comments or enough messages. I do get a email or two from some of you who are both followers and real-world friends. I've had enough questions that I am going to do a video in the near future about some of the methods that I use to create some of the effects that I do. Once again, I'm very happy to have you along on this tour of the Kingsport Lighthouse Naval Station. I hope that you are all doing very well and that you feel secure knowing that...
I hope you realize how much you did for us.
Hope you all feel secure that the Minutemen are keeping the Commonwealth safe. If you have some skills that we might be able to use, or are just willing to put in hard work, feel free to come down to the naval station and we can get you recruited into the Commonwealth Minutemen. If you don't have a permanent home, you can be a sailor on board one of our vessels. I want to thank you for all of the nice things that you do for me, and all of the education that you've given me by asking me questions and giving me ideas for improvements. And stay safe out there.